popular as baseball is today, it's also the original all-American sport. And in some ways, its progress on racial issues parallels America's. Major League Baseball made a big statement on April 15th, 1947, when Jackie Robinson became the first black player to break out of the Negro Leagues and integrate the majors. And the only reason Atlanta even has a baseball team is because the city agreed to integrate its old Fulton County Stadium as a condition for the Milwaukee Braves to relocate there. And yet, like America writ large, it's clear that challenges still remain, even now. Black players make up just 7.8% of players on opening day rosters in 2020. Baseball is not exactly a sport that's doing gangbusters with black fans either, so it is striking that the league that took the strongest action against Georgia's voter suppression law is not the overwhelmingly black NBA or the NFL. And now the Republican Party, the party that wrapped itself in the flag while eating freedom fries, wants to cancel America's pastime because that most American of institutions says making it harder for black and brown people to vote is not in line with their values. So what will conservatives cancel next? Apple pie? Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott refused to throw out the first pitch at the Texas Rangers home opener and said he would boycott MLB events. And the Republican Party itself tweeted, "3 strikes, you're out," accusing the league of a communist conspiracy. You really just kind of can't make this stuff up. But it isn't just Major League Baseball. Oh, no. The party of political theater, the supposed party of the free market, is in full hair-on-fire meltdown over corporate America deigning to criticize their anti-democratic voter suppression laws, not just in Georgia, but in other GOP-led states like Texas.
They folded like a wet dish rag to the cancel culture.
They need to stay out of politics.
If I were running a major corporation, I'd stay out of politics. I'm not talking about political contributions.
This is what I call the phenomenon that's going on. It's progressive fascism. The Democrats have successfully captivated the institutions, pop culture, Hollywood, our education institutions, and now our corporations into their own woke agenda. This is fascism.
That's not the definition of okay, it should go without saying that Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw actually doesn't know the definition of fascism. He should use the Google. But I'm going to move on to our guests. I'm joined now by Jemele Hill, contributing writer at The Atlantic and host of the Jemele Hill is Unbothered podcast, and Dave Zirin, sports editor for The Nation, MSNBC columnist, and author of the forthcoming book, The Kaepernick Effect, Taking a Knee, Changing the World. Thank you both for being here. I'm excited about this panel. Jemele, it is sort of fascinating to watch Republicans go against the free market. I mean, these are private enterprises that if they want to not have their game in a state, they have every right to do it. But I want to read you one of the sort of pushbacks against it. Tim Scott tweeted today on Colorado getting, Denver getting the game the All-Star game instead of Georgia. Georgia voter ID, 17 days of early voting. Colorado voter ID, 15 days of early voting. Atlanta's 51% black. Denver, where I grew up, so I know this is true, is 9.2% black. Major League Baseball is moving the All-Star game out of Atlanta, which has more day of voting than Colorado. The wokes are at it again, folks. I mean, and I will note that Colorado pretty much votes all by mail. So they don't need as many days of absentee voting because it's an all mail. They mail everybody a ballot. So only like 10% of the people there vote in person. But anyway, the floor is yours, Jemele. Your thoughts.
First of all, what's up, Dave? I mean, I haven't seen you in forever. He's one of my favorite people, as are you, Joy. Can I just beg and plead conservatives and the Republican Party, can you please stop using the word woke? Can you please stop using the word cancel culture? Remember when woke used to be cool and now it's mom on Facebook? Like, I don't know what happened.
Yes.
Nevertheless, though, this is what is so interesting to me, among the many things I should say, is that they're calling for these all-out boycotts of Delta, of Coke, of anybody who dares to, and I know this is weird for them, stand on the right side of history. Joy, refresh me if I'm right about this. I'm old enough to remember when they all stood in line when a Colorado baker decided that she did not want to make a wedding cake for a same-sex couple. That was just a private business making a choice. They said that was cool then, right? That was freedom, right?
That's
but
freedom.
Now all of a sudden, it's not cool because it stands in direct opposition to voter suppression, which has become their calling card. Here's the reality. The Republicans have no agenda. They have no platform. All they can give you is canceling Major League Baseball, Lil Nas X, Cardi B, and Meg Thee Stallion. That's all they got.
It is something else. And Dave, and so you two are both two of my favorite guests as well. So I'm so excited to have you both on. I mean, Dave, look, if you think about it, this is not like the Blackest League, right? This is not a league that is like catering to a lot of black fans, exactly, right? Baseball, there's very few black folks that are playing. It's a very international league. It also in Atlanta isn't even in Atlanta, right? It's in the more white county. So it's obvious that they see a business case for doing this for their bottom line, right? They obviously see this because back in the day, these leagues sat back, you know, and allowed all sorts of horrors to go on against black people and didn't do anything. For them to move tells me this is a business decision for them.
Absolutely. This is Major League Baseball we're talking about. This is a conservative institution. And I think what we're seeing is a reflection of the fact that the GOP is not willing to look itself in the mirror and ask the question, what is so noxious about us? What is so toxic about our agenda that even Major League Baseball is not willing to stand with us? Because that to me would be a wake-up call instead of saying Major League Baseball is now part of the commie fascist agenda or whatever it is they're saying. I mean, they don't know which way is up. Texas legislators today, Joy, introduced legislation on making it mandatory to play the national anthem before sporting events. So do they want politics in sports or don't they?
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.